welcome back to another episode of The Worst Company to Have. As always, my name is Kyle, and I'm with...
Alex.
What's going on, guys? It's been a while.
Has it? I don't remember when the last time we did this.
Neither do I. Well, then there you go. It's been a while.
Oh. Wow, crocodile.
Alex, how have you been?
I've been well. All right. I'm
sound-
just tired. I've been working like 6 days.
Yeah, I was going to say you sound very enthused.
Oh my god. I'm also really hungry. I haven't eaten since like 10 a.m.
Jesus. Well, you look great.
Oh, thanks. It's this new diet.
Alright, you want to get right into it?
Alright.
Quick bits, let's go.
Quick bits. So, Marvel just won't let...
Sorry.
Marvel just won't let this die. They're hoping that Inhumans can live on in the MCU.
Oh, no.
And I don't know, man. Like, are they... I'm just curious to know, like, will they keep the original cast or just, like, recast? Because from what I heard, I guess everything was bad, but I didn't hear anything about the actors being, like, just being terrible or anything.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know. We'll see. I just want to see more Lockjaw. So, the Halloween remake / reboot / sequel,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I saw that there was
There's a new trailer for it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
Jason? No.
Michael
Mike Myers. No. Yeah, Michael Myers looks as scary as always. I think I could be wrong, but I think Blumhouse is actually made this sequel.
Is it
reboot.
really?
I think so. Yeah, they're known for Get Out, Happy Death Day.
Did you see Happy Death Day?
I did not, but I
Neither
saw
did
the cinema sense for it. I saw Truth or Dare, which was...
How was it?
Oh, God.
You know, Nicolette wanted to watch that.
Yeah, I went to go watch it with her.
Oh, okay.
It was bad. It was bad. It kept me interested because it's cheesy. Like, it's just one of those, like, cheesy teen horror things.
I figured
So
it.
there's this character, I forgot her name, but the blonde in it, she, like, every time something would happen, she'd get insulted and she'd leave, and then she'd be like, all right, never mind, I have to help my friend. She'd come back and immediately be insulted again and just leave. And it happens like 4 or 5 times in the movie.
Oh, no.
And it's just bad. But it's basically like a Final Destination wannabe type thing, but with
okay.
truth,
Like
the
a
game,
ripoff?
yeah,
Yeah.
but like the game Truth or Dare. So
I mean, it's an interesting concept.
yeah, but I mean, Blumhouse, credit to them for making movies that aren't a miss either. They're not a miss. Like, they make their money back.
Right.
And they make them with really, like, low budget too. So there's that.
That's cool.
Let's see. Grandmaster
You guys
survived.
like a review of Truth or Dare?
Truth or Dare.
Yeah, that's it.
Please don't watch it. The Grandmaster survived Infinity War ending, according to Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you can't kill off Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, you can't, but now he can just have more orgies in that shit. Castlevania gets a 3rd season. We haven't even gotten season 2 yet.
Damn, already?
Have
Have you seen the first season?
I have.
It's amazing.
I love the monologue where he just whips him in the chest.
It's so freaking violent too. I love it.
You curse. There's no back. There's no back out. Commit.
I think I wanted to say fucking, but I said freaking, so I said frucking.
No, you said both.
Did I? I don't know. Anyway.
Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood adds James Marsden. Pretty boy James Marsden. He's been in a lot. The only thing I can remember is what, Enchanted?
Oh yeah, Cyclops.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. And then he was Liz Lemon's love interest in 30 Rock.
Didn't know that.
Tina Fey. Game of Thrones prequel TV show officially ordered by HBO. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
I don't, but a lot of people say that I should.
Yeah, people say that too, and I don't know. Give me lightsabers and then we'll talk.
You know, I have seen a couple YouTube videos where they replace the swords with lightsabers.
Yeah, but they also don't mute out the clashing of the swords. So it's like it's really What's going on with Ben Affleck's Batman?
Is that even still going?
It's just a question mark. I don't know.
No.
Solo reshoots. Ron Howard made big changes to the Kessel Run.
Really?
Yeah. So rumor has it. I think the Kessel Run was supposed to be like a bit shorter. He might have extended it. I mean, he did 80%. Like 80% of the movie is like Ron Howard.
Interesting.
So we'll dive a little into that.
Yeah, definitely.
Sense8 series finale review. The end brings big emotions and lots of stylized action.
You know, I heard that show was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a Netflix original. It was one of their first like originals that they put out. It looked really interesting, but I never sat around. It's in my list though. So, reveals the Bat Signal. So Batman's gonna. So I don't know if this is gonna be connected to the Arrowverse. Because I still don't really know if Gotham is connected to the Arrowverse.
No, it's not.
Because they're about to end it, and I don't know if they're preparing. Because I mean, first of all, Batman's expensive,
right?
And so I don't know if they're preparing to like put him into.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Because
I mean, Arrow's kind of like the Batman of
the Arrowverse and the CW stuff. Yeah. Yeah, basically, and I feel like they would have done something with it already.
Because they have Superman.
That's true.
But do you think people would be more upset if we got like a cheap Batman?
I think so. Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh yeah.
Cheap looking cardboard armor.
Yeah, because like when they did Superman on Supergirl, like they actually made him look pretty good.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the guy who played him did a really good job.
Yeah.
But I feel like on TV that's an easier role to play.
Yeah.
With Batman, that's kind of more difficult. You know what I mean?
There hasn't really been a live action Batman, has there?
Not on TV, no.
Oh.
At least not since the 1960s.
Just make the animated series into live action. Costumes and everything.
Just Kevin Conroy voicing.
That's fine. I mean,
you know what? Just put Kevin Conroy in the suit.
He's so old. He's old and ugly. No, you're not, Kevin Conroy. I love you.
Like he's listening.
He might one day.
Oh shit.
Ryan Gosling is Neil Armstrong in the First Man poster. The trailer coming tonight. Wink.
Did you just wink at me?
First Man on the Moon movie.
Oh, okay.
Great, I'm excited. I like space stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let's see. Spider-Man developer.
Did you really wink at me?
Spider-Man developer is making an open world VR game.
Okay. I wonder how that'll work.
Halloween 2018 trailer confirms major.
These questions aren't rhetorical, by the way. I'm actually asking to get a response from you.
Stranger Things getting a prequel novel about Eleven's mother.
You son of a bitch.
And MK Ultra. Who's MK Ultra? Was it that her sister, quote unquote?
My dumbass is thinking of Mortal Kombat.
No, that's the Ray song from Adventure Time.
We're derailed.
Simon Pegg will direct his first movie in 2018. I'm actually pretty looking forward to this.
Simon Pegg, wait, his first movie?
Yeah, he hasn't directed anything.
Well, are you serious?
Yeah, he's starred in a bunch of stuff, and I think he's written a lot of
stuff.
Yeah, I
know.
But he's never directed.
Wow.
So
okay, that'd be cool.
That'd be
exciting.
exciting.
Simon Pegg is hilarious.
Let's see, Ocean's 8 heist and ending explained. It's Ocean's 11 with chicks.
Yeah,
it's like, just them being like, I love how you can wear anything, and just like really passive aggressive stuff. That's very sexist. I'm sorry. Legally Blonde 3.
It's 2018. We just lost all 34 of our subscribers.
And in the Heights gets a 2020 release date. Legally Blonde 3? Didn't they already do that?
Wait, really?
Yeah. Legally Blonde 3 and In the Heights gets a 2020 release date.
Do we need a Legally Blonde 3?
No, but I know they made one with like twins.
Did they?
Yeah. I never watched it. I just know of it.
I was gonna say, how are you more versed in this than I am?
Oh my god! Because she wears pink, I think. Like then that's like somehow like flipping the legal script on its head. I don't. She carries a dog. Of course. Marvel TV boss wants fan fans to find Agent Carter a new network. Netflix.
Well, of course, yeah, just Netflix.
There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah. Or if anything, they'll do that Disney streaming service that they're coming out with.
Yeah, I mean, do that. I mean, I will. Well, don't get rid of everything. But right now, speaking of Marvel stuff, really quick on the side note, Cloak and Dagger came out yesterday. I haven't watched it yet, but the first 2 episodes were released on Freeform. It's it's a streaming app.
Yeah.
Which still is really weird to me that they didn't go with like a larger network. But
yeah.
So that kind of concerns me that maybe they don't have that much faith in it. But this Cloak and Dagger still exists in the MCU as much as Daredevil,
of course,
and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everyone does. So I haven't watched it yet. I plan on watching it tonight.
Okay.
And
you're gonna have to let me know how it is.
Yeah, I'll let you know how that is because the cast, at least the dual stars that are highlighting the show, they seem to be like having great chemistry.
Well, that's good.
And you kind of need that with Cloak and Dagger.
Right. So, oh well, yeah, of course.
But you kind of need that. You do need that. So it's just interesting, and the effects look pretty good.
Okay.
As far as the trailer goes.
Right.
But the cast is in its entirety is a pretty good selection. So. But I mean, we've been proven wrong before in humans. Let's see. PlayStation blurred out an Xbox One controller in their own trailer. Ooh, scandalous. Sonic the Hedgehog movie cast ride-along star as female lead. Yeah, I forgot that's going on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
What was his name? Greg Miller, the director of the first Deadpool?
Yes.
Is it Greg Miller?
I don't know.
I feel like Greg Miller's a YouTube star. But Sonic the Hedgehog, it's gonna be a live action movie?
Yeah, it's gonna be like live action CGI movie.
So we're just gonna have like a 3-foot hedgehog then? I don't understand.
I don't.
Is it like he jumps out of like the video game world? I'm asking you like as if you wrote it. I don't want to watch it.
I'll see it because Sonic the Hedgehog was something I grew up with, and
you're such a slut for Sonic.
Okay, what?
Kick-Ass and Hit Girl movie reboot coming from original director.
Don't ignore me, you son of a bitch.
But a Kick-Ass and Hit Girl movie reboot coming from the original director.
Why don't they just make a third one?
It's so that's like this really confusing. It's more confusing than Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters remake.
Ghostbusters not 3?
Not 3. Like it should have been 3.
It should have been 3.
A simple rewrite. And their nieces and daughters. That's it. That's all.
Legacy goes on. There you go. Or The Haunt continues.
Great fucking title. Ghostbusters 3, The Haunt continues.
Oh, I'm in the wrong business.
Very much so. Dave Bautista actively pursuing Marcus Phoenix role for the Gears of War movie.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah,
wait, Gears of War movie?
Yeah. So it's kind of been in the works for a very long time.
Just like the Halo movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Halo has had a few movies already.
Yeah,
I mean, Luke Cage, Mike Coulter, he's a star of, what is it, like, Gears, no, not Gears of War, what is it? Is it Gears of War? No. What did you say?
Halo.
Oh, Halo. It's like Halo Fallout or something.
Oh, no, it's like Forward Unto Dawn or something like that. Because I remember watching, because it was a live action thing. It was like set before one of the games. I forgot what it was, but I watched it and I thought it was really cool. Like the action was good. But yeah, they've been saying that they've been trying to make a Halo movie, like a theatrical movie, for like the longest time.
Well, I think just because they know like how video game movies work.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Tomb Raider was okay.
Yeah,
on its own. So I mean,
but I feel like if anything, a Halo movie would work. I mean,
you have to get the right director. Like, who do you get to direct it?
That was a weird noise I just made, and I picked it up on the mic.
I'm trying to think who's done like Michael Bay.
No.
It seems like his ridiculous American style is fitting.
No.
You're right. He'll just get like some little cute little thing.
Yeah, he'll ruin it. Dude, I don't know if you ever played the Halo games.
No, I haven't. I didn't have an Xbox One up until like last year.
No, because I know Michael Bay would probably do something to ruin the Guilty Spark, which is a character from the games.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a quirky, eccentric character, but if it was Michael Bay, he'll turn into something ridiculous.
Would you be okay with a low budget, visuals aren't the best, they're okay,
yeah,
but gory movie?
Yes, I would. You know what? Because
I feel like that would be their only win with the Gears of War movie.
The Halo?
Or Halo movie, I'm sorry.
Maybe both.
Or both. Because I feel like, I'm not saying that there isn't an audience for that, but given a track record, if it was me, I'd be like, yeah, you can make this movie, but I'm giving you like this budget.
Right.
Like, I'm not risking much on it.
That could work, but because I've played the first 3 Halo games, and visuals were definitely something that was kind of a big thing.
Yeah.
Because like with like the action set pieces and everything like that, it might work though. Oh yeah, because like I was saying, like that Forward Unto Dawn or whatever the hell it was called, the one that was on Netflix for a while. It was it wasn't very visual heavy, and it focused a lot on like the story and like the actual characters. So yeah, it could work. As for going to who would direct it, I never saw the movie, but I know a lot of people really liked it. That Edge of Tomorrow movie. Whoever directed that, they can direct the Halo movie.
I forgot who directed it. We can look it up.
We won't.
But no, yeah, that seems like a good fit.
Yeah, because I mean they're basically in mech suits and stuff anyway, so yeah, why not?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then last bit of news, Kingsman sequel, prequel, spin-off, and TV show are all in the works.
I would be looking forward to that.
Me too. I love Kingsman.
Yes.
I didn't know that Kingsman was a comic book before the movie.
I didn't know that either.
After the first one, like I picked up a few and
it wasn't until I saw the second one that I found out it was a comic book, because I want more.
Yeah.
Like those movies are fucking kick ass.
Someone said that Kingsman is James Bond for millennials. I'm like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, kinda.
But I mean, James Bond's the character of James Bond it's
timeless.
It's timeless, but he's also kind of boring.
True.
He's also just like a little boring. Like he's not witty. He's not like, he doesn't seem to be very smart. He's just very skilled. Like he's trained well, but
right.
I don't buy that James Bond is intelligent. Like I don't know, and then like he's just very skilled. He's very well trained, but I don't. He's also very like handsy with women.
Of course.
But no. I guess sexual predators is new charming. But yeah, I mean, as far as Kingsman being James Bond from millennials,
yeah, I can. Yeah,
sure,
of course,
whatever.
That's it for quick bits. Okay. I feel like this is pretty long overdue, considering that we're both huge fans of this franchise. But today we are going to talk about Star Wars.
Oh. I was gonna make a joke, but you said the thing before.
What was your joke?
I don't know. I think I was just gonna scream out like My Little Pony or something. Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Nothing but Star Wars.
Oh my gosh. So
Attack
yeah.
of the Clones, best movie.
You shut your whore mouth. You're out of this podcast. I'm doing this by myself from now on.
Good luck.
Hey, I've known you long enough. No, I can't do an impression of you. You're one of a kind.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so like I just recently saw Solo last night. Finally. You saw it a while ago, so I figure, yeah, if any time now to do a Star Wars episode, let it be now.
Yeah. Including Solo, what is your favorite
Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Ugh. I've been asked this a lot. I don't know. Because I like all of them. I mean, the prequels, at least episode 1 and 2, not so much. But at least like with those movies, I can still get some enjoyment out of like watching like the visuals, the fight scenes, and stuff like that. Revenge of the Sith was definitely the better one out of the prequel trilogy. I really liked of course, I love the original trilogy. Empire was good. Return of the Jedi was good. New Hope didn't start it at all. And the new trilogy coming out, like so far, they've been really good. So to pick just one, I'm probably gonna get some hate for this, but I'm gonna have to say Rogue One.
Rogue One,
because, I like that it was. I mean, don't get me wrong. The main story for the saga it's amazing. It's been beautifully crafted, really well told, but a part of me has always been interested in like what was going on outside of the main story, and with Rogue One, you definitely got to see that. Like you got to see the like the dark side. No pun intended.
The
dark side.
The dark side of the Force. It's. I think I sound like him. It's probably not gonna sound at all.
It sounded pretty good in here, I'll tell you that. Okay, stop.
I practiced.
It shows. But no, yeah, it does. It shows like the dark side to like the war that's going on, because like in the original trilogy they talk about the Galactic Civil War, and the rebels versus the Empire. So obviously the rebels are the good guys. They kind of glorify it while making the Empire seem so evil. Rogue One didn't do that. It actually showed that the rebels have even an evil side to them too, and like the action was much more gritty. It actually felt, dare I say, even realistic in a sense. Like it was to me, it was almost like watching Saving Private Ryan, but Star Wars.
I think that was the idea for this.
Yeah. And it came across really well. And it was good to focus on something other than the main story. And that Darth Vader scene, holy shit, was probably like one of the best scenes ever in film history ever.
I think
ever.
What, I think as Star Wars as a whole, including like Clone Wars and Rebels and everything, I think Rogue One holds they hold the title for best scene.
Of course.
With Vader.
Of course.
Like it can be argued, but every time I see it, it's like I'm seeing it with fresh eyes again. It's just
because I think that was unfortunately it wasn't something that they could have done in the original trilogy, and it really shows just how badass and powerful Darth Vader can actually be.
Well, George Lucas wanted to make Star Wars for kids, and I think that's why he kind of held back on a few things, because because we now know how like vicious Vader can actually be.
Yeah, and if he made it for kids, then he wouldn't have showed Luke's aunt and uncle being burned, or the aftermath.
We saw the aftermath. We didn't see them burned.
True, but that's still a brutal image.
They're skeletons.
and then like in the cantina when Obi-Wan chops off the guy's arm, there's blood everywhere.
You know what? What has Luke seen? Because he doesn't get fazed by a man getting dismembered or his aunt and uncle being like burned true. He's just like, oh well, I'll go train with old Ben.
I'm a Jedi like my father. That's true. Luke's probably seen some shit.
Yeah, as a child.
Poor little farm boy.
Oh my God. One of my favorite memes, not to derail, but one of my favorite memes is it's Padme giving birth, and well, no, it doesn't show anything. It's just I think Obi-Wan is holding one of the twins, and he's like, oh, what do you want me to do? He's like, please send my daughter off to a planet so she can be a princess and maybe she can make a difference in this world. And then, what about your son? I don't know, make him a farm boy or something. Send him to a farm or something.
Okay, that's pretty funny. That's good.
I don't know, I think about that a lot.
That's true. Like, why would you send him? I mean, yeah, I know, like that's literally the only family that he has, but why on God's earth would you send him down that way?
I mean, would I feel like Luke?
I guess we all know who Padme's favorite was.
Oh yeah. But I feel like Luke would have been a different person if he was like a prince.
Oh, true.
Or something. So it's better that he's a farm boy.
Yeah.
A dead farm boy.
Too soon. Too soon.
I think my favorite would probably be Empire, as cliche as that is.
Yeah, like you and everyone else.
Yeah, but I don't. There's just something about Empire where they're like they come to be like almost so helpless to everything. Like everything just seems to be just not great. I couldn't think of words, but yeah, and and we get that reveal from Vader.
Oh, of course,
and their actual, Luke's first real fight with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I like to see that when Vader goes into a frenzy when Luke lands a hit. He just like loses his shit and just starts swinging wildly, and so he chops his hand off and all that. But I don't know, not because of that moment, just all of it as a whole. Everything from the raid from the base in the very first scene.
Oh yeah.
All the way to them just like being like, we're fucked.
Yeah, no, I mean, Empire is definitely it's definitely up there with me.
And then the introduction of Lando too.
Oh yeah, of course. So, Billy D. Williams. Yeah. Has he appeared in anything else other than Star Wars?
Oh, not that I know of. Colt 45 commercials. What do we have here?
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, Empire is definitely a classic. And I can see why the spin-offs and stuff, they're being written by Lawrence Kasdan. Yeah. Because, I mean, they've struck gold with Empire, so might as well, make every movie like Empire. Yeah. Yeah, but, I mean, I was definitely introduced to Star Wars at a young age. My dad was the one who introduced me to everything. And it's been, with me ever since, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen the original trilogies. So many times. I was introduced to Star Wars very late.
Really? It wasn't really part of my childhood, just because.
No wonder you are who you are today. That makes so much sense.
So my older brother, he's much older than I am. He by the time I was self-aware,
unplugged,
released from the virtual world.
We got to do a Matrix episode.
I would love a Matrix episode.
I'm down. Let's do it.
But he was by the time I had started to develop interest and stuff like that. The only real nerdy thing I liked as a kid was Spider-Man. And I really liked him from a very early age and stuff like that. And that was kind of the extent of my nerdiness from that. Because everyone in my family and where I was going with my brother, they're jocks. They love sports and it's all kinds of sports talks. And
the hell happened to you?
It never really caught my attention.
Apparently not.
It never really did. I was more of an artsy kid, just drawing and stuff, and trying to read books as best I could.
You were the black sheep of your family, I can tell. So you didn't even miss a beat.
I never do. So I wasn't introduced into Star Wars until maybe middle school, I think, when a teacher, it was just one of those off days where I think we were testing or something and everyone finished early, so he had to find a way to kill an hour.
Of course.
So I think he put
education at its finest.
So I think he put on Revenge of the Sith.
Whoa! Yeah. Wait.
Maybe I don't. Whatever came out in.
I was gonna say
2003, maybe.
You got to be kidding. You were introduced that late?
Yeah, very late.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was just kind of well, I don't know what this is.
Wow.
I wasn't introduced to Harry Potter until maybe my freshman year, when my home ec teacher just kind of rolled it in. She's like, "We're gonna watch this," and I'm like, "Why is this boy living in a closet?" Is this a euphemism for homophobia? I was very confused. But
wow, you were deprived.
I really was. Also because my mom worked a lot and they didn't really go out to movies and stuff like that. So really, I just really had TV and stuff. So.
See, now you're gonna make me feel bad for insulting you.
Do you hear that?
What?
The smallest violin.
I'm gonna edit one in. You think I'm joking?
Just do the Thundercats theme song, please. Thunder. So yeah, so it was whatever. If Revenge of the Sith was out by 2003, probably not. It was one of the earlier ones that he put up.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. I just remember Obi-Wan very clearly in my history in my American history class. But yeah, I was introduced to it very late, and when I finally sat down, I think it was. So I had caught glimpses throughout, but it wasn't until my maybe 19th birthday, 20th birthday, where I was like, I'm gonna go buy the set. So I went and bought the box set, and I just binge watched it for my birthday, and I just fell in love with it.
Right.
Hated Jar Jar just
of course
immediately. And I thought because I heard a lot of because you're introduced to it so early and I watched it chronologically. So yeah, so I didn't start.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, so you were watching the prequel trilogy with fresh eyes instead of all the hype that was built. Because I know that when Episode 1 first came out, that the hype was oh my god, it's a brand new Star Wars movie after 20 something years or whatever, and it's and then after it came out, remember people were like, was it good? And then the word of mouth and stuff came around. I was just oh, this movie sucks because whatever. But you got to you experienced that after all that, so that's actually interesting.
Yeah, so I ended up actually liking Anakin for the most part. I mean, I didn't like little Anakin.
And, of course.
And Attack of the Clones Anakin, which is very annoying.
He's horrible. Oh my god.
I liked him more when he was.
I don't like sand.
Yeah. I liked him more in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. It felt like his character is a little bit more developed in Revenge of the Sith.
I mean, I fell in love with Maul immediately. I like how acrobatic he was. And
Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was definitely one of the standout characters from Episode 1.
The badass that he was, and I was upset that he died. So when I found out that he lived and Clone Wars came along, I jumped on Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But and then
because the funny thing is, he was alive in the comics, or all the stuff before Clone Wars, before
all the legend stuff.
Yeah, all the legend stuff. Yeah, all the books and stuff. He was alive, which was pretty damn cool. There's actually I think it's a comic where Darth Maul and Darth Vader fight each other.
Yeah, they fight each other.
It's badass.
Vader technically wins because he stabs himself and he kills Maul.
Right.
Which I call shenanigans. But my brother would probably give me shit for that. But my other brother.
Of course.
But yeah, so I was when I learned that he was alive, I jumped into Clone Wars and I bought the comic books and everything, and I read it, and I just fell in love with him so much. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, and
so when they actually made him speak in Clone Wars, that was
because he didn't have that many speaking lines.
No, he didn't. Now we can reveal ourselves to the Jedi. That's not the line, but
yeah.
Something.
To be honest, I love Darth Maul. I think he's a great character. But to be honest, he was fucking useless in Episode 1.
He was a little bit.
He was literally just a disposable character.
Yeah, because if you go into the comics, I don't know if you read any of the Maul comics, but this is he was still technically in training.
Right.
When he was sent out to, because at this point he had already killed his first Jedi, but she had just became a master, so she was very fresh.
Yeah.
And this was his second, he was just very hungry to prove himself to the Emperor. And so Palpatine was just all right, go ahead. He was go ahead. So he sends him off, and just Obi-Wan just bests him. If you want to call a bump on the head. No, he bumps Qui-Gon on the head. Maul bumps Qui-Gon on the head.
Right.
But yeah, so, but what Ray Parks did for that character, just great.
Yeah, and apparently Ray Park is still like asked to do like Darth Maul.
Yeah,
stuff.
he was. So, we'll get into Solo, but spoilers for Solo.
Oh yes, when we do our review, we're gonna do spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna spoil something right now. Maul is a cameo in it.
Yes.
He's got his robotic legs.
Yes.
And I asked you this a bunch of times, and I would say, who would you want to play Maul? Would you want Ray Parks back, or can we have Sam Witwer, who voices Darth Maul, be in makeup?
Right.
And we get both. So Darth Maul is actually, he's a physical, he's physically playing Maul, but Sam Witwer is dubbing the voice.
The voice, which is good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And when I was sitting there and I heard his voice immediately when he was like, "What is it?" I was like, "Witwer!" Just immediately. And I thought I was like, so they got Witwer to play Maul, and then you see his face, and it's clearly Ray Parks.
And he does the voice in the show.
Yeah, he does the voice in Clone Wars and Rebels.
And there you go, A+ for continuity.
So, but I was more impressed with Ray Parks because he does his lines, and the voiceover seems so seamless.
Of course,
it's so seamless, and it looks like if it was Sam Witwer doing it, because he got like Maul wasn't very expressive with his he didn't have very much facial expressions in his first outing.
Right.
Why do you keep letting me hang?
Funny.
In his first outing, he wasn't very expressive with his faces, other than that like poop face that he does when he gets sliced in half.
Oh yeah, because he's and he makes the sound too.
Yeah. So, seeing Ray Parks take more liberty and be more expressive and be more like the Clone Wars Maul that we see was very pleasant. And very like just I loved it. So
we'll get more into Solo later.
But yeah, and so then after watching the prequels, I went to the trilogy, the original trilogy, and I was introduced to Luke and Leia and Han, and I ended up actually falling in love with Han. I liked his character a lot. He was probably my favorite from the from the originals, and Luke. I have a love for Luke, but I don't really think that he would crack like my top 5 as far as favorite. Top 10 definitely, but top 5 probably not, because up there it's mostly Sith. Like Maul obviously number 1, and then you have Palpatine, and then Han, and then Lando, and then Lando more recently just because of Donald Glover and
Solo and
everything, but and especially how he's represented in Battlefront 2. If you play the story mode, if you play the story mode, you get to play as Lando, and he's got some cool weapons, and he's got some
pretty funny one-liners too.
Yeah. there's I think there's I forgot what his friend or partner, they were like trying to call him over the the communicator, and he's
comms,
and he's like because he's in the the AT-AT manufacturing.
Yeah.
And he's
on Sullust.
Yeah, and so he sets it to blow, so it's all exploding, lava's rising, and they're like, Lando, you gotta get out of there. He's like, I'm trying. Like he's like, there's not I have to make a way out. Like I can't just walk out of here. Like he's not that extra, but he's like very he's like, I'm trying. It's just fun. So and then from there, I thought Boba Fett looked cool, but going back now, I'm like, he doesn't do anything.
He really doesn't.
He doesn't do anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the same thing with Darth Maul. Like, he looked cool, and he did cool stuff, at least for a little bit. But they were both fucking useless. And I think it's the only reason why they've become such popular characters is because of, like, the video games, the spin-offs, like the comics and stuff like that.
Because I can, at the very least, understand how Maul has become a favorite.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely because of the video games. Any type of like game he was ever featured in, he was always like, "Oh, the surprise character" or something like that.
Well, I wouldn't even say the video games. I would say it would be more of a hand with Clone Wars now. because Clone Wars actually gave him like a backstory and actually gave him, because we don't get anything about Maul.
Oh, that's true.
We don't get anything. We don't get where he's from. We don't get what his race is. We don't get like how long he's been in training or nothing like that.
I know what race he is.
Yeah. But I mean, like you know these facts. Maybe you knew them before, but I mean, as far as like now, they're kind of more like public knowledge.
Yeah. Because that's true. It's more of a general audience.
Yeah, because now he's been fleshed out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Boba Fett, like, all I know is that he's a son/clone of Jango Fett.
Yeah.
Where he's a bounty hunter. How did he really become bounty? Clone Wars, it kind of explains it because they show us young Boba Fett, without the armor and everything. He's just a kid, and he's hanging around with like Bossk and what's her name? She's a bounty hunter. She was mentioned in Solo. I forgot her name.
Aurra Sing.
Aurra Sing, who Beckett kills. But yeah, he's hanging around with Aurra Sing and all these, and they're kind of showing him like the trades of being a bounty hunter and stuff like that. And they kind of basically raise him, and that's how he kind of becomes a bit heartless and kind of cold and just like very stern. I'm like, this is my target.
But you're right. Like, he didn't do much in Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Hell, even not even in Empire. Yeah. He just looked cool. But again, I feel like you got to.
I wasn't a fan of Yoda when I first watched him.
Really?
Yeah, I thought, I was like, all right, well, it's just some old green dude, old Kermit thing. and then Clone Wars came around, and he was fleshed out a little bit more in Clone Wars, and I got like a much more appreciation for him, and he's definitely become one of my favorites.
You see, like, for me, because like I said, I grew up with these movies. When I first, or at least, actually, I don't even know if I can remember that.
I never liked C-3PO. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I didn't. I never liked C-3PO.
Really?
I find him very annoying.
Well, he is, but he's annoying in a kind of charming way.
I don't find it charming. Mr. Sunday does a video of like why 3PO gets wiped every so often, because he's a chatterbox, and he's like, Anakin Skywalker had a secret child. Like, yeah, that's absolutely why. Like, he would get so many people killed.
That's true. But yeah, like I said, I can't even remember like the first time I saw these movies, but I remember growing up, watching Empire and Return of the Jedi, and how they talk about Yoda. Like, in the beginning, they talk about Yoda, and like Obi-Wan was like this strong, hell, even in A New Hope, when they mention Obi-Wan, and he's like this really powerful figure. Like, you get that sense of like he's definitely something. And then he's the mentor of the movie, and then in the beginning of Empire, he talks about how Yoda was the one who trained him, and you've already established the fact that Obi-Wan is a badass character. And then you go into like saying like, oh well, this is the guy who trained me. It's like, whoa, then who's this? You know, and then when you find out it's this little green guy, you're like, what? And then he lifts the X-wing out of the swamp, and like he's training Luke, and I always thought he was like just badass, even though he doesn't do much, and he's just there to train. You can tell that you can tell right away that he's strong, he's wise, he's very knowledgeable. I mean, the fucker is like 900 years old.
Because I liked him in Revenge of the Sith, because I like how they made him like all acrobatic and stuff. But I think when I watched the original trilogy, I think the reason why I probably didn't like him as much is because I kind of expected him to do what he did.
Oh, I see. You wanted to see him fight. Yeah. You just wanted to see just how powerful he can be. Yeah. Well, that's like one of the reasons why I really liked Attack of the Clones. Probably the worst movie of the trilogy, or the prequel trilogy. But that end, when Yoda kicks ass, it's like, what?
He absorbs the lightning into his...
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you can definitely tell like that Yoda's the badass, I mean, hell, even when they showed him in The Last Jedi, he looked weird, don't get me wrong, but
that's because he wasn't CGI, like he was an actual puppet. He was an actual puppet, which I really appreciated.
It was cool. Yeah, it was definitely cool. But he still looked weird.
Yeah, he does. It's like if they told someone like, we need a Yoda puppet, and he's like, all right, I'm just gonna do this by memory.
But yeah, like you got like the sense of like, at least I got that sense, you know, like when I first saw Yoda. Yoda's definitely one of my like favorite characters. It's funny because like a lot of my favorite characters are the good guys. Yeah. And you have a lot of them.
So I mean, I always liked Vader, but it wasn't until I started like really diving into like his comics and stuff that I really started liking him a lot more, because he's just like pure like hatred and just like all this negativity, just so he can be at like his peak, because he's so dismembered that he's using like so much of the Force just to like maintain himself,
right?
And the fact that he's this powerful, and he's no longer capable of being as powerful as he actually can be. Like that's insane.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's crazy. It definitely is crazy, and I mean Darth Vader is one of my favorite characters as well. Like, just like his presence, you know, like you don't have to see him do much. Just you just literally have him stand there in the hallway, and you're like, no, I'm just gonna go the other way.
So in the I understood that he was the apprentice to the Emperor, but there was something like of a neutering of his figure when you see him in the original trilogy, when you see him kneel to Palpatine, which made me look at Vader like, you're not much. Like, if you're kneeling to Palpatine, like, I don't know, but that's a large understatement of Vader, because there's so much more that he can do. But it made me see Palpatine in a brighter light, as far as like him becoming more of a favorite than Vader.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. Yeah. Like, and it's funny, like, going back to the whole Yoda thing. Like, obviously, like, with Darth Vader, you know, he commands, like, such a presence that, you know, you are the one who bows to him. And then to see that Darth Vader bows to someone else, and it's like, well, what the fuck? Who's the Emperor now? You know, like, how much of a badass is this guy, you know? And turns out not much.
He's just very old.
More so in the prequel trilogy, which I gotta say, like, Ian McDiarmid, who, you know, the guy who plays Palpatine in the prequel trilogies, best goddamn performance throughout the entire trilogy.
So what attracted me to Palpatine, besides his looks, no, what attracted me to liking Palpatine so much was to find out that he hid his dark side powers and his presence so well that even Yoda himself, when they would be in the same room, like, Yoda couldn't even tell that Palpatine was Force sensitive. And I'm just like, that was insane. I'm just like, he saw dark tendencies in Anakin, and Yoda saw that too. And like, Anakin, I don't know if Anakin, as far as like in Legends, I don't know if he ever tried to hide it. You would know more about that than me, but I feel like maybe he wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, because you would say that, like, with the Emperor, he was very smart, very knowledgeable, and it is definitely implied, like, when he tells us about.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but it just came to my head. Did Palpatine ever own a holocron?
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I'm pretty sure he did. I mean, I know that, like, his backstory, or at least in the Legends timeline, he was like a collector of Sith artifacts and stuff like that. So I wouldn't doubt if he owned a holocron. But yeah, like in Revenge of the Sith, when he tells Anakin about the story of Darth Plagueis, it's heavily implied that was his master, and even in the Legends, when you look at like his backstory and stuff like that, he's incredibly smart. And I'm pretty sure he would definitely learn how to suppress, you know, his dark side powers and stuff like that, to the point where nobody could see it coming. And to orchestrate literally the Clone Wars to start an empire, this guy's a badass.
And so like all that, I was just like, this old man. Like, I was like, man, So that's why I don't know, I fell in love with Palpatine.
Yeah, he's
such a
great.
character.
I mean, this whole, like, we can literally spend an entire episode just talking about all the characters and stuff like that. Yeah, all the characters. I mean, except for Jar Jar. Fuck Jar Jar.
So my nephew had an interesting point because I showed him. I still need to show him the rest, but I'm gonna show him chronologically to him so he can have a better understanding. I wanted to do it the nerdy way, where you watch. I think you watch like episode 1, and then you watch episode 2, and then you watch episode 4, and then you watch episode 5, and then you go back to 3, because in Empire, because this whole time you get this presence of like, you introduce him to Anakin, and you see Anakin with 1 and 2.
Okay.
And then you show them A New Hope. So this is, you tell them like, oh, like this is the same story, it's just continued a little further. So they get introduced to Luke and Leia and Han, and then they get introduced to Vader. So then you go to episode 5. They get that I'm your father scene.
Of course.
So then now they're like, oh, like, because the way, and I got this way through how Sam Witwer showed his friend. The whole concept is because they get introduced to the prequels and the world and Anakin and Obi-Wan and everything. So then when they see A New Hope, they understand like, oh, this is in the future because you have old Obi-Wan, and then you have Luke and Leia and everyone, and that moves on, and then they have the villain of the movie established, so it's Vader.
Right.
So then when Empire comes around and they get that I'm your father scene, they're gonna be like, well, you're rooting for Luke and you're gunning for Vader, but now you have this complexity.
Right.
So then you go back to episode 3.
And it makes it more of a tragic.
And it makes it more tragic.
That's an interesting narrative.
Yeah, it's more tragic because you find out that Anakin, the person that introduced you to this world, the person that you find out is like the chosen one.
Yeah, because they don't actually tell you his real name until Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That's so right, because that's a really good narrative.
Yeah, so then in a new Hope, you're like, oh, like the son of Anakin Skywalker is this and that, and so they already know who Anakin Skywalker is. So then you come to episode 3, you get the reveal that Anakin has become Vader, and now you get this whole setup, and then you go to Return of the Jedi, and you finish that up.
That's a very interesting way to wow.
Yeah, and so then you get Vader's death scene, and Luke moves on and he learns about
I guess that's a really good way to better appreciate the entire story as a whole.
Yeah, and so I've only showed him episode 1, and I'm still contemplating whether I want to do it this nerdy way.
No, do it that way. Do it that way. I feel like yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just it gives value to the prequels, and it shows that like it can work this way.
Yeah.
So so that's kind of what I want to do, and I haven't really figured out if I want to do it chronologically just to keep his attention posted, but because I don't want to confuse him in anything, but like I'd have to be there like sitting with him,
of course,
not like I'm gonna walk out the room Star Wars is on, but I think about it now, I think I made up my mind. I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, definitely do that. That's a really good. Yeah. I might even watch it like that. Yeah,
So so you have that, and but the point that he brought up was, he was introduced to Maul. He was introduced to the Emperor, and all this. And what he told me was he liked Jar Jar, and I like scoffed at it. But he's like no. The reason why I like Jar Jar, he's like, it's because like he really fell in love with Qui-Gon. He really liked Qui-Gon.
Right.
And when Qui-Gon passed away, he's like it felt kind of dark. He's like, it felt kind of dark. He's like, and seeing Jar Jar be dumb and silly, he goes, kind of lightened it up. He goes, so that's why I kind of liked him.
Huh.
And I was like, oh, like, why are you so wise? But so I guess if Jar Jar brings him that kind of value to it, like, I'm not gonna take that away from him.
Well, of course not.
Yeah. So.
Well, then there's always that really popular fan theory that Jar Jar is actually a powerful Sith Lord.
I mean, it makes sense if you pay attention to it.
Honestly, it does.
Yeah, and I kind of want to put that into his head, but if it's
not
canon...
Ahmed Best, the actor who played Jar Jar, actually commented on that theory, and even though he denied it, or not denied it, but confirmed that it's just a theory, it's not really real. Mm-hmm. He did say that it's fun to think about. Yeah, because it does make a lot of sense.
It would have made a lot of sense because there's a lot of things, if you watch it just blindly, there's a few things that don't make sense. And just his ability to be so acrobatic and stuff like that, because
he's lucky a lot. Yeah.
And he gets a lot of precision. There you go.
Precision.
I can't say it. He gets a lot of lucky shots.
There you go. He's accurate.
Yeah, he gets a lot of accurate shots when he's just kind of like
clumsing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I literally just thought of like the perfect segue into this because Han Solo said it better than, or no, was it Han Solo? It might have been Obi-Wan Kenobi. In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
I don't know who said that.
I think it was Obi-Wan.
It sounds like something Obi-Wan
would say. Never mind, it was Obi-Wan. Yeah. But yeah, it was, because, and then that makes sense. Because, that makes sense.
Yeah, so...
I just probably pissed off a lot of people.
That's alright. Yeah. Obi-Wan's one of my favorites, and people are like, why? Like, why not? Because he's great. Like, watch Clone Wars.
Ewan McGregor did a really good job in capturing the spirit of, like, Alec Guinness. Yeah. Like, he did a really good job.
Like, I mean, you want to see...
There was nothing... I mean, that's why I'm really excited that we're getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi spin-off film.
I'm really excited.
That's going to be great. Oh, so good.
And, just, there was one last thing I wanted to touch on. Can I remember in time? No.
But yeah, like, speaking of spin-offs, because I think now we should definitely start talking about Solo. But before we get into it, because we got Rogue One, we just got Solo, which was surprisingly good. We're getting Obi-Wan Kenobi, and now it's been confirmed that we're getting Boba Fett.
Yeah,
which I would be excited about. I mean, I am excited because the bounty hunter world is definitely something that has been a big, like, it's been a fan favorite throughout everything. I mean, every, like, Star Wars video game out there was definitely some sort of, like, bounty hunter thing that you can do. Knights of the Old Republic, or not Knights, well, yeah, the RPG, the Old Republic, you can choose to be a bounty hunter class. Even though the prequels sucked, one of the best games that they had on the PlayStation 2 was Jango Fett Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
And to see, like, the bounty hunter side of the world, or the Star Wars world, it's going to be great.
So the rumor for the Boba Fett movie, what it is it's supposed to be like kind of like a rat race kind of thing. Like,
okay.
It's changed a little bit. The rumor has changed here and there, like most rumors do. But the basic concept is either Boba Fett has been hired. He has a contract that he either needs to deliver or he needs to get to, and other bounty hunters are trying to stop him.
Yeah,
they're trying to stop him, or they're trying to get to it first.
Yeah.
So.
Well, of course, because bounty hunters. If they're all hunting the same target, so that'd be cool. So, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Me too.
You know what? I'll save this question until after. So let's just get into that Solo review.
Okay.
Okay. Thoughts? Spoilers again, by the way.
It's good. That's about it. It's okay. It's not the greatest Star Wars film.
It definitely is not like...
I think a few episodes back I said Solo is going to be an okay movie, but it won't be one of the best.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I agreed.
And
I think
it is. I think you did. It's so that's basically Solo. Like, it's not the best, but it isn't a bad movie by far.
No. And I think what makes it, because as a Star Wars film, it is definitely not the best.
It's not the best, but you know what?
Honestly, this kind of Solo kind of borderlines prequel trilogy like level of decency.
Little bit, yeah.
However, the reason why I feel like it doesn't like cross into prequel trilogy territory is because the movie is just so damn fun.
Yeah,
it was so. I had a blast watching this movie.
Yeah,
it was so much fun. The jokes were funny. The characters were really well done. There were I've been like blanking on his name all day. Who's the guy who played Solo?
Oh,
he's got a weird
Alden,
name.
Alden.
Oh, that's right, Alden Ehrenreich. Yeah.
Ehrenreich, yeah.
There were some moments in that film where it would genuinely felt like, oh, that's definitely something Han Solo would do or say. It's
so
like,
yeah, when watching it, because there were a lot of rumors that like, oh, he can't act,
he can't improvise.
So I think what it was that he doesn't do well in improvising.
Maybe.
But in the films that he's been in, he's a pretty decent actor.
Yeah, that's from what I've heard, yeah.
when I was watching this, I was like, this is Han. Like,
no,
I don't know what...
He captured the spirit, like, really well. Yeah, and I really enjoyed that.
Because I was like, I don't know what they were talking about. Like, this is Han.
Yeah.
And, so, yeah, just having that. And then, Donald Glover, like, just...
He nailed it. He absolutely nailed it.
So, funny thing, he was in an interview and he was talking... He was saying that he went to go meet with Billy D. Williams, and he spent, I think he said maybe like an hour just talking like ideas of like, oh, maybe, you know, Lando comes from high class, but he's a black sheep because he likes to gamble and likes to risk stuff and stuff like that.
Makes sense.
And he was just talking about ideas and backstories on how to play Lando, and that Billy D. Williams just was not listening, disregarded everything. He's like, I don't know, man, just be charming. And charming he was.
No, like, there were some moments where like Lando was probably speaking off screen and you didn't see him, but you were like, holy shit, is that really Billy D. Williams speaking right now?
You're just very like
he nailed that voice. It was perfect.
Just very because his whole Donald Glover's whole worry was he didn't want to imitate Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, which he didn't.
No. There was no imitation. That was the younger Lando Calrissian.
Yeah. That was perfect. Nailed it.
One of the parts where I was like, "That's Lando," was when they're like, "Oh, does your ship always have that landing gear boot to it?" And he's like, "Oh." He's like, I'm gonna have a word with my people about this. He goes,
yeah, that's
unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That was a very like Lando moment. Like, that, like I said, like this the audio capture. I'm looking at it right now is crazy because of these microphones. Yeah, like I said, this movie was just so damn fun. Like,
let me ask you, how did you feel about him getting his name?
At first, I was like, nah.
I didn't like it. It was cringeworthy.
It was. I feel like
he's like, oh, I don't have any people. And the guard's like, all right, Solo.
And Han Solo. All right, whatever.
And I was like, ugh.
It's like, did they really have to do that?
But I don't think that was Ron Howard. I think that was Greg and Miller.
Oh, that's true.
I think that was Greg and Miller's doing. Because I don't think that was Ron Howard, because Ron Howard isn't known for like cheap subtleties like that.
True.
And if it was, shame on you, Ron Howard. But I don't think
it definitely, it felt like
because I feel
felt like the moment in Force Awakens, where Poe gives Finn his name,
but that felt a little more,
I mean, it was more genuine.
Yeah, that felt a little more genuine. This was like more like forced.
It was definitely kind of
like I wish they would have just rewritten that and he would just been like Han, like my name is Han Solo.
But a minor blemish on an otherwise good movie.
Yeah.
I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
I'll deal.
I feel like anything really negative, probably, and I don't want to like badmouth. Was it Greg and Miller? Is that their names? I feel like I'm getting one of them wrong. Lord and Miller.
Oh, that's Lord and Miller.
Yeah, Lord and Miller. I don't want to badmouth them, but I feel like you can definitely tell what Ron Howard did and what was left. And I feel like the more like sour tasting parts were probably from Lord and Miller.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But again, I don't want to badmouth them because I don't know what they were actually going for, but reports and people were saying that they wanted to make more of a comedic movie, which I was like, why?
Yeah, like why would you need to?
So this falls in the style of Star Wars just enough.
Yeah.
Just enough to fit well, and it's like, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I've seen it twice. Once with my friend, the second time was with my brothers,
Mm-hmm.
but it. I mean, both times I was like, I was just. The first time it was exciting because I wasn't expecting the Maul cameo.
Oh yeah,
And so
that definitely wasn't
that-
expecting
yeah,
that. My
that-
jaw dropped.
Yeah, I was like screaming in my chair, like in the fetal position, just excited. And then the second time, that's all I was looking forward to.
Oh, right
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, that was all I was looking forward to.
The movie definitely captured the chemistry between Han and Chewie,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
and it was really cool to see them meet like that.
Mhm.
It's funny because like when they said like they needed to defeat the Beast, I wasn't expecting
Did
Chewie.
you think it was gonna be Rancor?
I was thinking it was gonna be some other type of like
Mm.
Star Wars Beast or something like that. But when it turned out it was Chewie, I was like, oh shit, nice.
So
He looks weird without his bandolier.
he does.
Yeah.
You know, okay. So there's this picture that literally gave me chills, and it gave me anxiety and just this unsettling feeling, and it was a picture of I forgot what director it was. I don't know if it was Ron Howard or oh no, it was J.J. Abrams.
Mm.
And whoever played Chewie in that movie, I forget his name, but it was a behind the scenes photo, and J.J. Abrams was pointing something at the camera screen, and Chewie was like leaning over, like looking at it, and the thought of Chewie speaking English and just speaking words chilled me to my bones. Like it was like horrifying almost. I was so like just anxious and just did not want anything to do with it. I was like, it rattled my brain so much, and I hated that picture so much just because like I imagined him speaking. I'm like, that's not. It's like watching a bird bark. That's not supposed to come out of that. And it just thinking about it now freaks me out a little bit.
I can tell you're shaking.
It's just no. But
oh no.
yeah, you think he looks weird without his bandolier? Watch him speak English.
Actually, going back to like the whole language thing, when Han is speaking, the language of the Wookiees and stuff, it's like we as kids we always try to like imitate the Wookiee growls and stuff like that, but he did it, and it was almost like he was trying to it was almost like it was a kid trying to imitate it, but it still sounded so legit. Like, oh my god, he's actually speaking a language here.
He also classifies it too, because he's like, yeah, I speak a little.
It's like, yeah, I speak a little. It's like, which was awesome, and the subtitles too is pretty good. You know,
it's just like broken.
Yeah.
So that was great. So the trench scene of like the battle that's going on before he meets Chewie.
I liked that.
That
felt like it made it more of a war movie like a war scene.
Yeah, did you watch Dunkirk?
I did not.
So Dunkirk is directed by Christopher Nolan, and now I just want a war movie, a Star Wars
Ooh, with Christopher Nolan.
With Christopher Nolan,
that would be amazing.
Just like, did you ever read Battlefront? It's the first like novel.
No.
For it. It's like Battlefront. I have it. I read it and I forgot the title, but basically it follows kind of like this band of somewhat misfits, kind of, but it's more like it's very war based.
Right.
And if they adapted that, like just Star Wars, like Battlefront as a movie, like Christopher Nolan, just to get that like that grittiness of war.
Oh, that would be really good.
So and that's all I was like picturing, because like I was like, what if Dunkirk was just Star Wars?
Yeah, because that scene when they're going into that battle, you don't even see who they're fighting.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy shit! There's so much happening at once, but it's still so like confined to these characters that it's just like, well, there's a bigger picture going on right here. And the way that it was done, I actually felt like, I wouldn't say not terrified, but I was just like, oh shit, like it's like suspenseful.
Yeah,
it was thrilling. It was awesome.
That was probably one of my favorite scenes, just watching that.
Yeah, and I was like, I want more of that.
Yeah. So, what did you think of Woody Harrelson?
I think it was good.
Beckett.
Yeah.
I liked his silhouette where he's just like rotating his revolvers.
Too cool. I think this is for the first time though we get someone with like a Southern style accent in a Star Wars movie, which is weird.
We get a glimpse of that in the Old Republic like trailers. I forgot his name.
Well,
but
yeah,
like,
but I mean, those are the video games.
Yeah. But
like, yeah.
I know what you're saying, but
and it was kind of funny too, because like
I just love that he's dual wielding.
Yeah, and he's like spinning it and while he's shooting, which is pretty cool. You would think though it's kind of a giveaway since like pretty much the entire Empire is British, and he's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I didn't even think of that.
Even the girl that he's with is British.
Yeah. Oh man, he's like, yes, Captain. This guy's like, he's troublemaker. He's like, I knew it.
And it's funny because it also made me think. It's like, well, the Empire always asks people, "Oh, join the Imperial Academy," but do they only take British people?
I guess so.
Oh shit.
Also, like Han got into the academy very easily. He's just like, I want to be a pilot. They're like, all right. They're like,
well,
all right.
I mean, well, considering like.
Well, they did send him to
the training and stuff like
that. To the academy, but like it was fairly quick.
It was.
Like he was on the battlefield fairly quick. Like what, maybe like a couple months that he was in the academy.
True, but I feel like with the Empire, they're not just gonna turn down anybody.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I feel like with the rebellion, they'd be like, all right, well, if you have, I mean,
well, the rebellion hadn't started just yet.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like, if you wanted to join the rebellion, you know, they'd probably be like, all right, we'll see what you got. They'd probably be like doubtful at first. I mean, they would take all the help they can get, but with the Empire, they just seemed like, yeah, come on down. Hey, you want to part of the Empire? Come on down.
Did you have a favorite, like, I guess funny moment? Because my favorite is where he's like, he picks up the rock and he's like, he's like, this is a thermal detonator. He's like, that's a rock. He's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. You made a clicking noise. No, I didn't.
This is my favorite. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there wasn't too many to begin with, but I mean, there was a couple. But that was definitely one of my favorites. I liked where Chewie like brings him a drink, or he goes to get him a drink, and he sees that he's with Kira, and he's just like, all right, so he just downs both of them.
Yeah. This movie was just, it was fun.
What did you think about is it L3 or L2?
L3. The robot?
Yeah.
Oh, she was great.
Yeah. So, favorite robot? Mine's K2. Out of the entire series.
Of course. K2, Rogue One. I mean, he's the best.
BB-8's adorable, but K2.
That's K2, yeah. I did notice that they were trying to emulate that kind of like personality with her. Mm-hmm. But it was still kind of like her own personality.
You know what? There was a lot of people that are like, oh, like trying to be a feminist and this. I'm like, I didn't get that. Well, I understood that that's what it was. Right. I didn't feel like they were forcing it down my throat.
That's true. Yeah. And like the way
also Lando fucked that robot. Listen.
You had to make things weird.
No, I didn't. Disney came out and was like, he's pansexual. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, so she's like, sometimes I think it'll work, but, no. I should have told my brother, I was like, Lando, fuck that robot. Like, there's no.
Yeah, but, like, then the way they explained, like, why she is the way she is, it's because she's never had, like, a memory wipe and stuff like that, which makes a lot of sense.
I do like that the way that she got uploaded to the ship. Mm-hmm. And then you get that reference later on in the original trilogies where 3PO is like, oh, like, where did your ship learn how to speak? It's got an interesting accent.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so, because they always said that like they're talking to the ship. Oh, that makes more sense now.
Yeah. So what I do like is that these standalones or these one-offs are tying things.
Yeah, that's right.
They're tying, like Rogue One. We understand why that exhaust port existed.
Yeah.
And then now we understand like why the Falcon is the fastest and best ship in the galaxy.
That's true.
So
and why it was able to successfully navigate an asteroid field.
Yeah. Yeah. So see that's it's all coming together. So now I'm just wondering, like, what is Obi-Wan gonna
tie into?
What are they gonna like clean up? Because I feel
to go back on the whole like tying ins thing, like how they said, oh yeah, it's like it was the ship that made the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs, and it's like people are like, you do realize that parsecs is a measure of distance, not time.
Yeah.
They explained that in the movie why he was able to do it in under 12 parsecs.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, wow, that was clever. I like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what these standalone movies are gonna be serving the biggest is just tying up loose ends.
Right.
Like they'll give us these stories, but they're definitely tools to start tying in like more of these ends. But going a little further in, Darth Maul, I think he's gonna be the tie-in for the standalones. I think because Solo has been ordered for a trilogy.
Really?
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
And yeah, I wouldn't mind it either. Like this was pretty pleasant. I won't mind.
You know, and I think one of the reasons why I enjoyed this movie a lot too is because I went in expecting, well, not really expecting a lot. Because
so did I.
Yeah, because you know all those rumors that were circulating in the movie and all that stuff, and then like how it went through a lot of reshoots, and rewrites, and all that stuff.
To be completely honest, the only reason why it even still had interest in it was because of Donald Glover. Right. That was really that was really the only interest.
I'll be honest, I didn't exactly have a lot of interest in this movie. I mean, I was going to see it because, you know, it's Star Wars, and I've seen every single Star Wars film, or at least the live-action ones. But this movie surprised me. Yeah. I was like,
because
wow.
I, like, really Han is one of my favorite characters, but the way all these rumors were circulating around and saying, I was kind of skeptical.
Yeah, and also when they first announced, like way back then, when they first announced that this movie was going to happen, I think the both of us, we were like, why? Do we need this? Yeah. Like, okay, I was like, okay, Rogue One's cool, but do we need a prequel movie about Han Solo?
So it was a movie that no one really wanted, but it was a movie that, like...
At least now it's like, now yeah, you're right. It's a movie that we didn't know, or it's a movie that no one wanted. Mm-hmm. Now, after seeing this movie, this is a movie that we didn't know we wanted.
Well, I kind of still don't really want it. To be honest, but... it's a movie to start off. It's a movie I didn't really want or care for, and then coming out of it, it's a movie that I'm happy that exists.
That's true. You know, I'm glad we have it now.
So, but yeah, they ordered a trilogy set for it, and then I think even Lando's getting a spinoff now, because they liked Donald Glover's.
Well, he was perfect.
I'm just like, where do you go off from that? Like, it's just gambling and stuff. I mean, obviously they can write more stories for him, and they can borrow from legends and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. Which obviously it seems like that's what they're doing.
Would you be up for them doing like a Lando and Han, like buddy?
I would love that. So you know, honestly, I would love that. I think that would be amazing to do.
Because as of right now, I guess Solo did end with Han winning the Falcon.
Yes.
So I kind of wish it didn't. Because that would have meant like Lando still had the Falcon, and he would still need to go back to Lando to win and everything, and that could have set up for like another adventure. Mm-hmm. But I guess what's done is done. But Lando can always come back in different.
Ways. And they don't have to use the Falcon for everything. Yeah.
So I do like the explanation that the Kessel Run is the reason why the Falcon looks the way it does.
Yeah, when I was watching that, I was like. Because like when you first see like the design of the ship, and it's like, why does it look like a triangle? Yeah. Like, what is that? And then, you know, I did not realize that the reason why it's empty right there is because the escape pod was gone. It's like, oh, okay. And then if you look at it, that was the first. The Falcon has been through at least 3 antenna changes. Yeah,
it's expensive.
Expensive. That ship gets fucked up in the end.
Oh yeah, it does. But where I'm going with this is I think, and including the Boba Fett spinoff and maybe even Kenobi, I think that Darth Maul is gonna be the centerpiece of everything.
Kind of like how Thanos was for.
Kind of. I don't think that he'll be the big baddie because we know
but it's kind of being set up like that.
Yeah, because we know Darth Maul's fate and we've seen it already.
Right.
And I doubt that they'll recreate it in Kenobi.
Right.
If they do, bravo. but you have to introduce Ezra and the rebels and all that. So.
Yeah, which I don't.
But
think they have
right now,
for just yet.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but I know that At least I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that they've talked about it,
Yeah.
of introducing like the rebels into the live action stuff.
Yeah. So now with Maul being now present in this world, because this is after his fight with Palpatine in Clone Wars, because Palpatine kidnaps him, takes him back, tortures him, and then him and some of his some of the people from his gang organization break him out, and then this is where he continues on, and then from there it goes on to Rebels, because Ezra finds him just like an old man, like he's about like to die.
Right.
And little side note, it's cool to see him in Rebels because he's basically just feeding off Ezra, and you see him like after episode, and like he's getting his stance back and he's getting his energy back and stuff like that. So that's more of that. But I think he's gonna be the centerpiece. I think he's gonna be like the tie-in for everything.
Okay.
We probably won't see a presence from him.
Not for a while.
Not, I mean, like a physical preference, not like a
hologram
or anything like that. Maybe he shows up in the last Solo movie or something, but maybe. I don't know. Like I honestly don't. I can kind of see where they can go with it, but I'm really kind of blind to it. And at the same time, so hopefully they do something great with him. I just want to see him back.
Right, of course, yeah, because and definitely they do that. I guess that's
a bit. So
yeah, I guess that's everything we can talk about Solo. I mean, overall, it was good.
So Solo, the Han Solo movie. One last time. It's all right.
Yeah. It's definitely not like, because like with the Force Awakens and like Last Jedi, like obviously I love those movies, and
I like Force Awakens more than the Last Jedi, but
right. But like with those movies, and I think even like when Rogue One came out, I was like, I gotta see this again. Like I gotta see it in theaters again. I was not expecting to want to watch Solo a second time, because usually I'm like, okay, well this movie was good. I think I'm just gonna wait for it to come out on DVD. Like with Deadpool 2. Like with the first Deadpool, I saw it 3 times in theaters because I thought it was hilarious and I loved it. When we saw Deadpool, I was like, oh, I saw it once. I don't need to see it again. At least not until it comes out.
Yeah.
With this movie, I was kind of expecting it to be the same way. I'm like, okay, I saw it once. I'll just wait till it comes out. Now I'm just like, you know what? I want to go back and watch it.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like Solo,
because it was just so damn fun.
Yeah, it's fun and it's entertaining. Like it's an okay film. It's good enough on its own. But it's just like
it's so entertaining to watch.
Like I honestly wouldn't mind watching it a third time.
No.
But I think I'm gonna hold off watching it a third time and just wait till Blu-ray comes out and then watch it that way.
Well, I gotta catch up and I gotta watch it at least a second time. So
because it's good. Because the second time when I was watching it, I was just kind of like trying to notice things in the background, maybe things I missed and stuff.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
things you missed.
Yeah. Last thing, Paul Bettany's character.
He was good.
Yeah, great.
It was definitely good. And it's funny because now I'm starting to think like I think they're gonna start putting more Marvel characters into the Star Wars films.
Yeah.
Because
that's kind of like Marvel's thing. Like they have like this.
Because isn't John Boyega like in talks of becoming like a Marvel character now?
Yeah.
So
it's like Blade.
That'd be awesome.
That's true. Yeah. But John Boyega himself has said he's like no, I don't want to play Blade. Give me Wesley Snipes. I'm like, well, Wesley Snipes is all right.
Yeah. I can deal with that.
That's fine. But yeah, like Disney has like this playground of just actors that they're just kind of like picking from, and like, hey, be in this, be in that, be in this.
Yeah.
And like I think right now Lupita Nyong'o is the only one that's like on both. She's both in Star Wars and Marvel.
That's right.
So, because I can't really think of any other actor that's crossed between them, because she's Maz Kanata and she's what was her character's name? I was just distracted by her beauty the entire movie. Okoye? No, that's his bodyguard. I'm sorry, Lupita.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
Yeah. Overall, it was good, and I definitely want to go watch it again in the theaters.
I give it 3 out of 5.
How long have you been waiting to do that?
Like 4 seconds.
Well done. Now before we end this, I've got it came to me, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna agree.
Okay.
But I want to ask you anyway. How do you feel about a Darth Maul solo movie or Darth Maul spin-off.
I would absolutely be up for it, but
because I think
they're gonna have to get really creative though.
Yeah, because I think that would give them a chance to be creative, because not only are you doing a movie about a Star Wars character, but a Star Wars villain. No less.
Here's the thing: where do you go with a character that has such little wiggle room in his story that you haven't already shown? Because you've already shown his beginning with the dark side. You showed his beginning and his fall. Mm-hmm. You showed his rise in Clone Wars, his rise and his fall in Clone Wars, his secondary, and then you show his rise and death, and now you're showing him in Solo in that in between space. Like, where do you go from that? Because you can't do the story of him being the ruler of Mandalore, because they've already done that in Clone Wars. I mean, they can expand on it even more, but you'll be giving us a movie without an end, if that makes sense.
That's true.
You'll be giving us a Darth Maul movie without an end and a very loose beginning. So that's why I'm saying they have to get really creative. They'll have to give us a story of Maul that ties in with either Clone Wars or Rebels.
Right.
So that's so him being kind of like the quote unquote Jabba of the Solo, like the Solo and the other standalone movies, kind of makes sense because you can see what he was doing during that time. But yeah, you'll have to get really creative, and you have to get really creative and show us what is going, because I wouldn't mind them showing us a standalone movie, just one, and then it tying into Rebels and how he ended up the way Ezra found him. Okay. Very, very weak and very old. And
I can deal with that.
And so that's really the only way I can see it.
And speaking of which, I just thought of this too. The Solo movie actually seemed like it. I mean, well, I'll probably have to watch it again to kind of go back and get everything else. But it seemed like it tied in a lot of things that were previously thought to be non-canon. Now is canon, because I remember I think when Beckett. Oh, and by the way, I'm pretty sure that last scene when Han Solo shoots Beckett, just like that had to have been like a whole like Han shot first.
Yeah, thing. Absolutely.
Because that was just like,
absolutely.
Pow! I was like, oh shit, where'd that come from?
Because even Beckett was telling him, he's like, you need to make your moves first before,
Yep. So that had to have been a callback.
Absolutely.
But after that scene, he talks about something about being on Malachor. And Malachor is a planet that's mentioned in the Knights of the Old Republic games, which, if I'm not mistaken, that should definitely mean that the Knights of the Old Republic games are now canon. Because Malachor 5 was actually a main planet. It was actually one of the main settings.
So I think just the planet has been confirmed. I don't think the games are, because there's a certain point where Disney cut it off everything, and everything is just like everything that they've been doing since that cutoff is canon.
Right.
So I think maybe the planet is definitely now canon because it's been mentioned. But I know that they are trying to work something with Knights of the Old Republic, because there's such a high demand for it.
Oh, I so hope
there's an incredibly high demand for it, and I don't know if they're gonna try and make a video game, because they're planning like they said it's like an Uncharted the game Uncharted style type video game for Star Wars. And it's going to be a whole new character, and you can like design your character and stuff like that. Nice. And the rumor then grew on, it's going to be a little more personalized, like how Fallout is. But there hasn't been much detail on that since. But like Battlefront 2, the story mode on that with Iden Erso, like that's canon.
Right. So, yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So like that's canon, and so you see all of that. So I mean, I would like to see Knights of the Old Republic. From the trailers that I've seen from the old video games and stuff, like that, it just looks badass.
Oh, yeah.
But as of right now, I do like seeing non-lightsaber movies.
Yes.
So, because there's something, I don't know, there's something grittier about it, for lack of a better word. But yeah.
Yeah, because it definitely shows like a different side of like the whole Star Wars thing. That Star Wars isn't just lightsabers and the Force and stuff like that. It's an entire universe, and the original like the saga is only just scratching the surface. With movies like Rogue One, Solo, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Boba Fett, all these movies are now going to start tying into the bigger picture of what Star Wars really is.
Is there a character that you want to see brought in? Either as a cameo or standalone?
Revan from the Knights of the Old Republic games. I want to see Revan. He's my favorite he's my favorite Star Wars character out of everything. Maybe not as a cameo, but like if it's a mention or something like that, perfect.
So I think Revan would probably be the focus of either the video game or TV show or whatever they want to do with Knights of the Old Republic.
I would like it.
So, I mean, mine is just it's cliche answer, and that's Starkiller.
Of course.
Yeah, Starkiller. I love Starkiller so much, but
you just love Sam Witwer.
I do. I just love Sam Witwer, man. He's such a cool guy. I watch his Twitch streams sometimes, and he'll do the Emperor voice or
that's awesome.
Or Maul, and it just warms my heart. He's so great. Well, on Twitter it was funny because someone was like, Whitwer, how long were you sitting on that secret? And he's like, too damn long. So
that's awesome.
So yeah, he's great. And his last Twitch stream, he had like a couple of buddies and they were playing like a D&D video game.
Nice, very nice.
Which is so cool. he's a big nerd and he knows everything about Star Wars.
Of course, yeah. Well, that ending went a little bit too long.
A little bit too long.
It's okay.
It's like watching your mom say goodbye. Not your mom specifically, but a mom.
Hey, mom.
We'll leave in 5 minutes.
But yeah, that was a review of Solo, and that was our Star Wars episode. I think it's probably our nerdiest episode.
Probably.
Maybe.
I don't know. I just hope it doesn't sound shitty.
It probably is going to. I'll edit it. I'll edit it tonight. So. No, I won't. All right, guys. We'll definitely see you guys next time. I'm not going to say next week because...
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I could have sworn we did an episode last week.
No, we didn't.
Oh, man. All right.
I didn't even text you. I didn't even like, hey, let's do an episode Friday. We just... No.
We took a break.
There you go. A break.
We were on a break! Right, bye.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. All right. And see ya.